So the Cleveland Browns finally end the dropping of JOK here. I thought for sure he was going to go earlier, if I'm being honest. I have him as number 14 in my draft board, and I was lower on him than some other people. So I think that this is a surprise for sure that he fell this far, that several linebackers were taken in front of him. But for Cleveland, they said, hey, thank you very much. We will gladly take this guy. And at this point, even if there are some concerns about his size or whatever, and we'll get into some concerns I have of him too, because there are some things that I say, okay, that's a great college play, but is that a great NFL play? And I think that's kind of the concern, is there's no doubt he's a great college player. The concern is how well does it translate to the NFL? I still think well enough. I think he should have gone earlier than this. It's surprising to me. And I think Cleveland got a great player. Honestly, they got two great players. Newsome should fit their zone defense well. I think that JOK, he could fit it well as well. And let's get into the film study and really talk about what I like about him as a player. So we'll start things off with this play. So it's going to be man coverage, and he is in man coverage, and the route he's covering isn't like a easy route for a linebacker to cover. So this is kind of a very interesting thing that part of me wonders how well is this going to work at the NFL level, but the other part of me says this is super awesome to watch in college. So there is kind of this it's a bit interesting. He's gotten some Isaiah Simmons comparisons, the guy who the Cardinals drafted last year, and I get that. I really do. I can understand why they say that, although I actually think he's a bit of a better prospect than Simmons was. But anyways, really watch what happens on this play. Right when this play starts, you notice how, number 7 there for the offense gets by JOK pretty quickly. I'm going to call him JOK. That's the last name way too long to pronounce every single time I mention him in the video. But, it's not awful coverage, and the throw is actually going to be a little bit lower because there is safety help over the top, so that's going to be an advantage. But still, you could argue that, hey, you got beat with speed a little bit here, and that's kind of what I mean when I say how well is this going to work at the NFL level. I don't know. But also, watch how his long arms and, his ability to go up, he ends up getting the interception on that play. So it wasn't a great throw. That's part of it. Perfect throw, maybe a better receiver going up against him. Again, I'm not sure if it's a receiver or a halfback or what, but a better offensive player going up against him. Maybe it doesn't work out that way, but at the same time, that's really impressive, and it kind of goes to show, hey, if he's in a position where he has to make a play, maybe he can make a play. So that's promising to me. You also have something like this, which I think is just as good of an example, where it's going to be man, and you have a receiver running and this time it is a receiver. I'm pretty sure that's not a tight end, running a quick slant route over the middle. So that's how this is working, which again, I don't know if you want to make him a linebacker or a safety. To me, he is a linebacker. He's just kind of a smaller linebacker. And I think that he's not so small that he can't play. That's just how I feel. But he can absolutely, play coverage well. And the fact that he can cover wide receivers in college means that he should probably at least be able to cover, tight ends and halfbacks in the NFL, with the exception of the top guys, obviously. But anyways, watch how right when this play starts. So again, it gets a little bit of a late break on it, which is, I think, totally understandable and fine, just given the fact that, the route he was covering and in the situation that he was covering it in. I get it. I think that's fine. But watch how he is able to run over and he helps knock that one away. Now, if that's a great receiver, they might still hang on to that catch even though he made the contact, because some of those receivers are really good at holding on like that. So again, you got to put a little bit of an asterisk next to a couple of these things, just because it's like, will that work in the NFL? I don't know. But it's still incredibly exciting to see at the college level. So I think that, to me, it is a positive for sure. There's something like this, which is just a wild play. What's going to happen is he's going to be basically, it's kind of a bit confusing. The offense here, I think, completely screws up because no one's supposed to be blocking JOK here. So someone must have made their mistake, unless they were just thinking, hey, you send 3 receivers deep and everyone on the defense will just naturally go deep because of that, and then you flip it to the back. But JOK is going to read it well, which it wasn't hard to read, so I don't know what they were thinking. But anyways, he's going to get unblocked to hit the halfback. None of that is anything crazy, but really just watch what happens. As you see, JOK runs up and he just completely murders the halfback right there. That's honestly, that's a big blow. That's almost tough to watch, but it kind of also just goes to show he's violent. He'll give you a big hit. He'll miss sometimes because of that, but again, having someone who's violent, having someone who will deliver a big hit, there's value there. There absolutely is. This plays another example of it, where it's going to be, again, it's a screen to the outside, so that's what is going to happen. You have a wide receiver. It looks like maybe Clemson got a little bit confused here. I'm not sure exactly what happened because the wide receiver is going to go out to block JOK, but they have a tight end on that side of the field as well who kind of looks like he starts to, but then goes to block someone else. So I wonder if the wide receiver just screwed up and it was supposed to be the tight end blocking JOK, and you have a receiver blocking the defensive back, which to me would make way more sense. But regardless, that's besides the point. Again, watch what happens. As you see, he is going to be able to shred this block quickly because of his footwork and make, again, a very quick and violent tackle. So that's good to see, right? How well would that, again, how much is that going to impact in the NFL? I don't know, but probably some. So I think it's good. You also have something like this where, so you see, I've circled the linebacker. I've circled JOK right there. It's going to be a blitz, and you see the blocking concept. There's going to be a double team for the defensive lineman that's to the offense's left, the defensive tackle that's to the offensive left. So the center and left guard are double teaming a defensive lineman, just so you know where the double team is. Watch how JOK is patient here. He waits, and he's being aware. He's waiting till he can see where is the best gap. A lot of guys, I think, would run sort of in between the left guard and a left tackle, but he's, I think, being a lot more alert and saying if there's a bigger gap between the right guard and center, so that's where he's going to go. And see, he is going to get there pretty quickly. The little bit of contact doesn't bring him down. Maybe not quite the best lateral movement, but pretty good. He has really good speed, and he is a good blitzer, so very good play. A lot to like about him. Really, I think that my only concern, I guess, I would have is that I just don't know how much of this stuff is going to translate to the next level. To me, he is a bit of a wild card, but I still think that he's going to be successful somewhat no matter where you put him. I have him currently, he's number 8 on my board of non-quarterbacks. So I have him very high up. He's my second favorite linebacker. I think Parsons' game does translate to the NFL level a little bit better. I think that JOK was honestly the better college player, but that doesn't always make the better NFL player. So there's a bit concerning there, but at the same time, it's very minor concerns. I think that there's so much he does well, and he's electric to watch. I think that he'll end up being great. That's what I think. And, his size doesn't really concern me that much, because the reality is littler linebackers tend to still be successful in the NFL. There isn't a ton of evidence to support that little linebackers have issues. And in fact, typically a first-round linebacker who's a little bit smaller does better than kind of a medium-sized linebacker. It's usually just the smaller or the bigger guys have success, which is interesting. So, yeah, that's what I think of him. That's what I think of this pick. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And, of course, as always, thanks for watching.